Nobody warned me that grief could make you invisible inside your own home. But I should have seen it coming. The morning after Richard's funeral, I woke before sunrise out of habit, expecting to hear his cane tapping softly against the hardwood hallway outside our bedroom. Instead, there was only the distant crash of Charleston waves beyond the cliffs and the low hum of voices downstairs. I wrapped my wool robe tighter and walked toward the staircase slowly, my knees stiff from the cold ocean air drifting through the old mansion windows. Vanessa stood in the foyer speaking to two florists while workers carried away white funeral arrangements that still smelled faintly of lilies and rainwater. She looked polished already, wearing cream slacks and a cashmere sweater like she had stepped into a magazine spread instead of the second day of mourning. "No, not those candles," she said quietly. "The gold ones work better for the gala next month." One of the florists noticed me first and lowered her eyes awkwardly. Vanessa turned and smiled too quickly. "Oh, Evelyn. I did not realize you were awake yet." Something about the way she said awake, yet settled strangely against my chest. "Richard and I built this house room by room over 36 years. Even the iron staircase railing had been sketched by him on a napkin during our honeymoon in Savannah. But standing there that morning, I suddenly felt like a guest wandering through someone else's memory. Later that afternoon, I returned to the upstairs sitting room and stopped cold. The brass key that always hung beside Richard's library portrait was gone. At first, I assumed one of the housekeepers had moved it while dusting. But when I asked quietly at dinner, Vanessa barely glanced up from her wine glass. "Oh, that old thing," she said. "I had the locks changed this morning. Honestly, Evelyn, this house is too large to keep unsecured now." Daniel shifted uncomfortably beside her, but said nothing. Outside the dining room windows, the Atlantic wind rattled the shutters softly, while I stared at the empty space where the brass key had hung for decades. And for the first time since Richard died, I found myself wondering what else had quietly disappeared while everyone thought I was grieving too hard to notice. 3 days later, the mansion no longer felt like a home preparing for mourning. It felt like a hotel preparing for investors. Workers moved folding tables across the ballroom, while vans unloaded white orchids and crystal lighting for Vanessa's charity gala. Every hallway smelled faintly of furniture polish and expensive perfume instead of the cinnamon candles Richard always burned during December. I stood near the upstairs balcony watching strangers carry silver serving trays through rooms where my children once played hide and seek during thunderstorms. Vanessa moved confidently through the chaos with a clipboard tucked beneath her arm. "The piano needs to face the ocean windows," she told one event planner. "People donate more when the room feels dramatic." She spoke with the polished calm of someone auditioning for a different life. Around noon, I slipped quietly into Richard's library, hoping to think clearly for 5 minutes. The missing brass key still bothered me more than I wanted to admit. Dust floated through the narrow sunlight near his desk while old leather books lined the walls exactly as he left them. But something else had changed too. One drawer near the fireplace stood slightly open. Richard never left drawers open. Ever. Inside sat several property files and a folded brochure for a luxury boutique hotel development outside Savannah, Georgia. Across the front, someone had circled projected waterfront profits in dark blue ink. I heard footsteps before I could look deeper. Daniel entered carrying his phone against his shoulder. He stopped when he saw the brochure in my hand. "Mom," he said carefully after ending the call, "you should not worry about business stuff right now." I looked at him quietly. Then why are hotel investment plans sitting in your father's library? He exhaled slowly and rubbed the back of his neck the same way Richard used to when nervous. It is temporary. Vanessa thinks diversifying assets makes sense. Temporary. Diversifying. Corporate words hiding personal fear. Before I could answer, another voice appeared behind us. Mrs. Whitmore. An older man stood near the doorway holding his coat neatly over one arm. Gray hair. Charleston accent. Familiar eyes. I am Arthur Bellamy, he said softly. Your husband asked me years ago to contact him immediately if anyone ever tried restructuring the estate. Then his gaze shifted briefly toward the missing brass hook beside the portrait wall. The gala began just after sunset beneath strings of golden lights draped across the ballroom ceiling. Charleston society filled the mansion with polished laughter and soft jazz, while waiters carried trays of champagne through rooms Richard once used for quiet family Christmas dinners. I stood near the veranda doors holding a glass of sparkling water I never drank. Women I had known for 20 years smiled politely before drifting back toward Vanessa and her circle near the fireplace. Grief makes people uncomfortable when it lingers too long. Vanessa looked perfectly composed in a black silk gown with emerald earrings catching the chandelier light every time she turned her head. She moved through the ballroom like someone rehearsing ownership. The Whitmore estate is entering a very exciting chapter. I overheard her tell a banker from Hilton Head. We are modernizing several assets. Assets. Not memories. Not family. Near the back hallway, I spotted Arthur Bellamy speaking quietly with Daniel beside the library doors. Daniel looked tense again. His tie hung slightly loose now, and he kept glancing toward Vanessa before lowering his voice further. I could not hear every word over the music, but one sentence carried clearly enough. If refinancing fails, we lose the shoreline parcels first. My stomach tightened. The shoreline gardens behind this mansion were where Richard proposed to me during a thunderstorm 40 years ago because he had been too nervous to wait until dinner. Later that evening, Vanessa approached me beside the staircase while guests danced slowly under crystal chandeliers. You should get some rest soon, she said gently. These events can become exhausting. I studied her for a moment. You seem very comfortable hosting them here already. Her smile flickered almost invisibly. Daniel and I are just trying to protect what matters. Before I could answer, a loud crack echoed somewhere upstairs. Several guests startled and turned toward the balcony hallway. One of the housekeepers hurried down the stairs, pale and breathless. Mrs. Whitmore, she whispered nervously to Vanessa. The old portrait in the West Library fell open. Fell open. Not fell down. Arthur Bellamy immediately looked toward me instead of Vanessa. And suddenly I remembered Richard once telling me never to remove his father's portrait because some things inside this house were built to stay hidden until the right moment. The music downstairs continued playing while I climbed the west staircase beside Arthur Bellamy. Crystal glasses clinked faintly below us, and guests laughed through conversations about charity boards and vacation homes, completely unaware that something inside the mansion had shifted. The hallway outside the library smelled of old cedar and sea air drifting through cracked windows. Vanessa arrived moments behind us with Daniel close beside her. Honestly, this house is falling apart, she muttered under her breath before stopping near the portrait wall. Richard's father stared down from the massive oil painting exactly as he always had, except now the frame hung slightly crooked away from the wall. One brass hinge behind the canvas had snapped open, exposing a narrow, dark space hidden inside the paneling. Arthur's expression changed immediately. "Good Lord," he whispered. Vanessa crossed her arms tightly. "What exactly are we looking at?" Arthur did not answer her. Instead, he carefully reached behind the portrait and removed a slim wooden box covered in dust thick enough to leave marks across his fingertips. My pulse slowed strangely instead of speeding up. Some part of me already knew Richard had hidden more inside this house than memories. Daniel stared at the box uneasily. "Mom," he said quietly, "did Dad ever mention this?" I shook my head once. Arthur opened the box slowly on the library desk beneath the green banker's lamp. Inside rested several sealed envelopes tied with faded navy ribbon and one smaller brass key identical to the missing one from downstairs. Vanessa stepped closer immediately. "Those are estate documents." Arthur lifted one envelope carefully and examined the handwriting on the front. His face tightened almost imperceptibly. This was addressed to Evelyn specifically. The room went very still. Downstairs, the gala crowd suddenly erupted into applause for something happening in the ballroom below, but up here the silence felt heavier than the mansion walls themselves. Vanessa forced a calm smile that no longer looked natural. "Well, whatever this is, we can review it with the financial team tomorrow." Arthur looked directly at her for the first time that evening. "No, ma'am," he said softly. "I believe your father-in-law intended these papers to stay outside financial discussions entirely." Then he handed me the envelope. And when I turned it over, I saw Richard's handwriting across the seal. "Open only if the house is ever threatened from within." The ballroom music downstairs sounded distant now, almost unreal, as Arthur closed the library doors behind us. Vanessa remained standing near the fireplace with her arms folded tightly, while Daniel paced slowly beside the windows overlooking the Atlantic. I sat at Richard's desk, holding the envelope in both hands longer than necessary. His handwriting alone nearly broke me. Richard always pressed harder on the last letters whenever he was worried. Arthur nodded once toward me. "You should open it privately if you prefer." "No," I said quietly. "If this concerns the house, then everyone stays." The paper seal cracked softly beneath my fingers. Inside rested 3 documents and one handwritten letter folded neatly between them. I recognized Richard's stationery immediately. "My dearest Evelyn, if you are reading this, then someone inside our family has allowed ambition to outweigh loyalty." I stopped for a second after that sentence. Vanessa shifted uncomfortably but said nothing. Arthur examined the legal pages while I continued reading silently. Richard explained that years earlier his father insisted the mansion remain protected from future debt or outside development after several neighboring estates were lost through risky investments during the 1980s. A permanent trust clause had been created quietly through Arthur's firm. The mansion and surrounding shoreline property could never legally be leveraged, refinanced, sold, or transferred without approval from one surviving trustee. Me. Only me. Daniel stared blankly at Arthur. "That cannot be right." Arthur removed his glasses slowly. "I personally witnessed the filing in Savannah 31 years ago." Vanessa stepped forward immediately. "Then why was this hidden?" Her voice stayed controlled, but panic pressed beneath every word now. Arthur looked directly at her. "Because Richard amended the clause 12 years ago after concerns regarding future financial pressure on the estate." Silence swallowed the room. Then Daniel finally noticed the second page inside the trust documents. His face drained instantly. Wait. He looked toward Vanessa. The boutique hotel investors requested the mansion as collateral? Vanessa hesitated just long enough to answer everything. I watched my son realize the truth piece by piece while downstairs guests continued laughing beneath crystal chandeliers, completely unaware the entire evening had just collapsed upstairs. Then Arthur handed me the final signed page confirming sole trustee authority over Whitmore Mansion and every acre surrounding it. And suddenly the woman they planned to quietly move out became the only person standing between the family and financial ruin. For several seconds, nobody moved inside the library. The distant jazz downstairs suddenly sounded cheap against the silence pressing through the room. Vanessa stared at the trust documents in Arthur Bellamy's hands as though the pages themselves had betrayed her personally. Then she laughed once under her breath. Sharp. Nervous. This is unbelievable, she said quietly. Richard never mentioned any of this. Arthur adjusted the papers carefully. That was likely intentional. Daniel turned toward his wife slowly. How much money did the hotel investors already put into this? Vanessa looked away first. That alone answered enough. It was supposed to be temporary financing, she said. Once the resort opened, we would have doubled the estate value. By risking the house. Daniel's voice stayed low, but something underneath it cracked. Vanessa folded her arms tighter. You agreed with me. He did not answer immediately, because she was telling the truth. I watched both of them standing beneath Richard's father's portrait, while years of ambition and insecurity finally surfaced all at once. Downstairs guests continued drifting through ballroom conversations, completely unaware that the family hosting them was quietly unraveling one floor above their champagne glasses. Arthur gathered the trust documents back into the wooden box. Mrs. Whitmore, he said to me carefully, under this clause no lender can legally touch the mansion or surrounding shoreline properties without your written authorization. I nodded once, but my attention stayed on Daniel. My son suddenly looked younger than 50 years old. Tired. Cornered. Mom, he said finally, I did not know Vanessa offered the estate as leverage. Vanessa inhaled sharply. Because you panic every time numbers get difficult. Enough, I said softly. The room fell still again. I walked toward the windows overlooking the dark Atlantic where storm clouds rolled slowly beyond the cliffs. Richard used to say Charleston storms always arrived quietly before turning dangerous. Behind me, Vanessa's tone changed completely for the first time all evening. Less polished now. More desperate. Evelyn, she said carefully, if this deal collapses, we owe people money we cannot cover. There was at last. Not cruelty. Fear. Real fear. I turned back toward her slowly. Then tomorrow morning, I said, you will show me every document connected to that hotel project. Vanessa hesitated. Arthur noticed immediately. So did I? Because hidden beneath the financial folders on Richard's desk sat one file neither of them had mentioned yet. And across the tab someone had written in black ink. Emergency asset liquidation. The next morning, Charleston woke beneath heavy gray clouds and sharp ocean wind that rattled the mansion windows before sunrise. I was already sitting in Richard's library when Vanessa finally entered carrying 3 thick financial binders against her chest. Her makeup looked rushed for the first time since the funeral, and she had tied her hair back carelessly instead of styling it. Daniel followed behind her silently holding 2 cups of untouched coffee. Arthur Bellamy stood near the fireplace reviewing legal notes while rain tapped steadily against the tall glass windows facing the Atlantic. Vanessa placed the binders on Richard's desk harder than necessary. "Everything is there," she said. "Loan agreements, investor terms, development projections." I opened the first binder slowly. "Boutique hotel renderings, luxury marina sketches, projected revenue charts." Then the real numbers appeared underneath. Interest escalation clauses, missed payment penalties, emergency liquidation triggers. Several pages carried Daniel's signature, but others did not. "You forged supplemental approvals," Arthur said quietly after reviewing one section. Vanessa immediately stiffened. "No, you electronically submitted estate intent forms without trustee authorization." The room tightened instantly. Daniel looked at her in disbelief. "Vanessa," she pressed both hands against the edge of the desk. Because there was no time left. Investors were pulling out. Her voice finally cracked under the pressure she had spent months hiding beneath polished charity events and expensive dinners. I kept turning pages carefully until one property diagram stopped me cold. The shoreline gardens. The rose terraces Richard planted for our anniversary 20 years ago. Marked for future demolition under Phase 2 expansion. Vanessa saw my expression immediately. That part was not finalized. I looked up slowly. "You were going to erase this house piece by piece." I was trying to save it. "No," Daniel said quietly from behind her. "You were trying to reinvent it." Silence settled heavily across the library while rain rolled down the old windows in crooked silver lines. Then Arthur closed the final binder. "There is one more issue." Everyone looked toward him. He removed a separate document from his leather folder and laid it carefully onto the desk between us. "The investors are arriving here tonight expecting signatures." Vanessa's face lost what little color remained. Arthur's voice stayed calm. "And if they believe this family misrepresented collateral protections, they may pursue fraud claims immediately." Then for the first time since Richard died, the mansion no longer felt threatened by outsiders alone. It felt like the storm had finally reached the front door. By late afternoon, the storm finally broke across Charleston in long, violent sheets of rain that blurred the Atlantic horizon beyond the mansion windows. The investors arrived just before 6, carrying leather portfolios and tense expressions that immediately told me they already sensed trouble. Arthur Bellamy met them in the ballroom, while staff quietly removed the remaining gala decorations from the previous night. White orchids wilted beneath dim chandeliers like the house itself had grown exhausted from pretending everything was still beautiful. Vanessa stood near the fireplace in a navy dress that suddenly looked less elegant and more defensive. Daniel barely spoke at all now. One investor from Atlanta flipped through legal documents with increasing irritation. "You represented the shoreline estate as secured collateral," he said flatly. "That protection does not legally exist." Vanessa swallowed hard before answering. "We believed authorization was pending." Arthur corrected her gently but firmly. "No authorization was ever possible under the trust structure." The room turned colder after that. Another investor closed his folder sharply. "Then this entire expansion proposal collapses tonight." No one raised their voice. Somehow that made everything worse. Quiet disappointment from wealthy people always carries a different kind of danger. Daniel finally stepped forward. "I will take responsibility for my part in this." Vanessa looked at him instantly. Hurt crossed her face before anger replaced it just as quickly. Your part, she whispered. You signed every projection beside me. Because I trusted you. The words landed harder than shouting ever could. I watched Vanessa lose control slowly instead of dramatically. Her shoulders tightened. Her hands trembled once before she hid them against her sides. Months of carefully curated confidence cracked apart in tiny visible fractures. The ballroom emptied within 30 minutes. Investors left. Advisors left. Even the caterers quietly packed away untouched silver trays. Rain hammered the windows while the mansion settled into an almost unbearable silence. Vanessa stood alone near the staircase, staring toward the dark shoreline gardens she once planned to replace with luxury villas. Then she spoke without turning around. I really thought I could build something bigger than this house. I answered honestly. And somewhere along the way you stopped seeing the people still living inside it. She closed her eyes briefly after that. Upstairs a door creaked open softly in the west hallway where Richard's hidden documents had been found. And for the first time since the funeral, the mansion no longer felt angry. It felt like it was waiting to see who deserved to remain. 2 weeks later, the mansion felt quieter than it had in years. The storm damage along the shoreline gardens had already been repaired, and the ballroom chandeliers no longer glowed every night for strangers trying to impress one another. Early one morning, I carried my coffee onto the back veranda where the Atlantic breeze rolled softly through the rose terraces Richard planted decades ago. The same terraces nearly erased by paperwork and ambition. Charleston sunlight stretched across the water in pale gold ribbons while gulls drifted above the cliffs. Inside, the house movers quietly removed the last boxes connected to the failed boutique hotel project. Vanessa stood near the front entrance, speaking softly with one of the drivers. She looked smaller somehow without the expensive confidence she used to wear like armor. Before leaving, she walked slowly toward the veranda where I sat wrapped in Richard's old wool sweater. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then she glanced toward the shoreline gardens below. I used to think this house represented power, she admitted quietly. Now I think maybe it was supposed to represent stability. I studied her face carefully. There was still pride there, but less performance behind it now. Sometimes people chase bigger lives because they are terrified the life they already have is not enough, I said. Vanessa nodded once and looked down at her hands. I did love your son, she whispered. I just kept trying to prove we deserved more. I believed her. That was the hardest part. Daniel joined us a few minutes later carrying a folder from Arthur Bellamy's office. The emergency liquidation agreements had been dissolved. The mansion would remain protected exactly as Richard intended. Daniel sat beside me quietly while ocean wind moved through the porch curtains. Dad knew this family better than I thought, he said softly. I smiled faintly toward the water. Your father understood that money rarely destroys families overnight. Usually it happens slowly. One compromise at a time. Down below, workers replanted fresh roses where construction stakes once stood waiting for demolition permits that would never come. And for the first time since Richard's funeral, the mansion no longer felt heavy with grief or fear. It simply felt like home again. If this story stayed with you, subscribe for more heartfelt family dramas every week. And let me know in the comments whether forgiveness is harder than revenge when family is involved.